what's going on in the world? Oh, we just celebrated 25 years of Raekwon's Only Built for
25.
Cuban Links.
That's wild, man. I can't believe it's been
25. So that is one of the greatest hip hop albums ever. I would say it's in the top 20.
Easy.
To 25 of all time. I don't have it in my top 10 per se, but a lot of people do, and I'm not mad at them.
I mean, it's become so like the purple tape is synonymous with greatness at this point.
100%. So I thought it would be dope, since obviously it's not a Wu-Tang album. It's a Wu-Tang album. I thought it'd be dope if we tried to rank our top 10 favorite Wu-Tang albums. Now, it's important that we distinguish the categories of what qualifies as a Wu-Tang album.
I just did Wu solo and Wu albums.
Okay, so is Capadonna considered? Are we including Capadonna in Wu-Tang?
He's not in your top 10, so that's irrelevant.
The Pillage might sneak in.
It's not in your top 10.
Okay. Is he okay? So we're not including Capadonna.
No Capadonna.
And we're not including Sons of Man, Killer Army, Killer Priest, etc.
Nope. None of that.
So just the 9 main members and then group albums.
Yep.
And those ranked, correct?
Correct.
And we're going to go 10.
You want my 10 first?
Yeah, give me your 10. 10.
All right,
we'll go 10 to 1.
No, we going 10 to 10.
10 to 10? What are you talking about?
My 10, your 10.
No, I mean, you go from 10, your 10 to 1.
That's what I'm saying. We got to build this up, dog.
All right, go.
All right. I'm going to go with this is my only battle that I've had thinking about this, but I got to say I'm sorry to Mr. Hot Nickels, to Cal. You're off the list. I'm going the W.
The W.
I'm going the W. Yeah, man. I was listening back the past couple of days when we were talking about this, and the W. I just love so many songs on here. Like I Can't Go to Sleep, one of my favorite joints. Protect Your Neck, Gravel Pit, Hollow Bones.
So you're saying Tikal, Method Man's Tikal is not on your list at all?
Not on my list.
Interesting.
It was rough, man, but just going track for track, like listen to Cal again, it didn't hit me like it used to.
That's what sucks about Method Man. I feel like Method Man's solo. Oh, how about this for a question? Is Method Man and Redman included or no?
Nope.
That's not included.
Blackout would have been on my list, but it's
so
not
Blackout
included.
1 and 2 is not included.
Not included.
Okay. All right, well that's fair. So you're saying the W as 10.
The W.
Which, by the way, was I guess probably a slept-on album at this point.
Super slept on. There was a lot of hate when the album came out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, what about 9?
Oh, what's your 10?
No, man, we're going 10 to 10?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. A little head-to-head.
For me, I'm going to I'll give Tikal number 10. Actually, yeah, Tikal. Method Man Tikal number 10.
Just sneaking in, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Method Man's solo career has been extremely disappointing. Tikal's clearly his best solo album.
2000 was all right.
I liked 2000, actually. If I'm being honest, I liked a few records on there a lot. But yeah,
some joints.
I think you got to go. You got to have Tikal in your top 10.
That's what I thought, but couldn't do it, man.
All right, what's your number 9?
Number 9, another Wu album, Iron Flag, super slept on.
Back-to-back Wu albums.
It's just like Uzi, the Y'all Been Warned, Chrome Wheels, like they just sounded hungry on that album because the W was so hated on at the time.
2001. You know what's Iron Flag didn't make my top 10. So,
like I said, slept on.
Iron Flag.
And I like to think of it as their last album.
Definitely.
Because everything else after that, I'm good.
It just hits a wall. Number 9 for me is ODB, Return to 36 Chambers. I think Old Dirty Bastard, not a perfect album, not like a, there's better albums, but I think that ODB was important to hip hop, and I feel like this was his. There's songs on here that you'll hear in movies for the rest of your life.
But this was another album like to Cal for me when it's not on my list. I went back and listened to it.
Return to 36 Chambers isn't on your list either?
Didn't make it.
So no to Cal and no Return to 36 Chambers on your list.
I went back and listened to it. There's joints on there, but there's just a lot of childish stuff, man. Like ODB was on. I don't know. It didn't age well to me.
That's fair. I can. You know what? To be fair, I didn't go back and listen for this discussion. So, all right, go ahead. What's your number 8?
It's Only Built for Cuban Links 2.
Ooh, yes. Amazing album.
Super fire. If you haven't listened to it in a while, you got to go back. Like, it's just, the production on this is so crazy. You got Alchemist, Dilla, Pete Rock, just on and on. Scram Jones.
Hey, guess what? I have the same album at number 8.
There you go.
I love Only Built for Cuban Links.
I forgot he had that. They did Mad Lib the Red. They had that beat on there.
Yeah, that's right.
Super fire.
Whitney, or no, I'm tripping. I was about to say Whitney.
10 Bricks.
Yeah. That was on Fish Scale. Anyway, all right. What's your number 7?
Number 7 is Fish Scale.
Dude, same.
Word. Okay. Yeah. No. Again, the production on this joint was nuts. This was probably for this or Only Built 2.
Dude,
what was first?
I think Fish Scale was first.
There was like a little renaissance right here with these two albums.
Fish Scale was first. Fish Scale was 06. And
okay.
Only Built 2 was 09.
Okay.
But yeah, yes. No, Fish Scale had a With Me With a Strap, and the production on it was fucking crazy.
Crazy. The Just Blaze
That's
joint,
actually the last Ghostface album that I loved. Even though I know he's put out a lot of other stuff that is probably super dope, but
Apollo Kids is fire.
Apollo Kids was dope, yeah. All right, so Ghostface, we both have at number 7. What's your number 6?
Wu-Tang Forever.
Damn, that's low. All right. Wu-Tang Forever, number 6?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's just, I love this album, but it's the double disc dilemma, as always. Like, it's so hard to nail it down if you got that many tracks, Like Blueprint 2, it's that same syndrome. Like, it could have been a lot higher.
Right.
It was just condensed. A lot of filler, but strong tracks on there. And the production, going back and listening, it was a lot different than Enter the 36 Chambers. Like,
number 6 for me is Iron Man. Ghostface, his first solo album. Shout out to Raekwon, another one of their combo. I mean, I kind of love just listening to Only Built for Cuban Links and Iron Man. I just kind of feel like they complement each other. Iron Man I just remember having that like silver CD. It was like with the Wu-Tang W and the Iron Man chest. And this is the album that really like solidified as Ghostface being my favorite member of Wu-Tang.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my number 5.
Shout out to Ghostface. So you're going 5 now, and you have Iron Man at 5.
I got Iron Man at 5, yeah. It's got so many of my favorite tracks. All That I Got Is You is still like songs like Wu-Tang's ever put out.
So my number 5 is My number 5 is Supreme Clientele. So back-to-back Ghostface albums. Supreme Clientele, holy shit. Crazy album. Shout out to Ghostface, who just, I mean, man. I remember buying this CD from like Sam Goody at Metro Center Mall in Phoenix when I was a kid.
Yes, sir. I copped it at the warehouse.
And this was like the first time Ghostface had like a solo quote unquote hit that you would like heard on the radio.
Yeah, it got mad play on MTV.
That shit was all over MTV.
I still don't know how to say it though, but
Cherez the Ghost?
Cherez Ghost.
Ghost, whatever it is. And this was, I think, Ghostface carrying Wu-Tang on his back. Because if you think about when this came out,
this was like 99, right?
2000.
Okay.
But think about it, like Wu-Tang Forever came out in 97. This is 3 years after that. You really can't. This was an era where Method Man started to become more of a star as for other shit besides his music. And it was like a really dry era of like Wu-Tang quality. GZA was putting out shit that wasn't hitting like everyone had hoped. The Wu-Tang album was we talked about the W being
this dropped before the W. But this was like summer, I think.
Okay, yeah, but they came out the same year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at that whole entire like 99 Inspected Deck dropped Uncontrolled Substance, which I do think is an underrated album, but
100%
not in that same discussion. So I just think Wu-Tang had a very, as far as like carrying like the brand of what Wu-Tang means and like meant to fans, I feel like ODB had already kind of gone pop and stopped banging Wu-Tang, like, you know, like he had the Got Your Money shit with Khalees, and I feel like this album like kept Wu-Tang alive to like Wu-Tang fans. You feel me? Like this shit was like, this felt like a Wu-Tang album. This shit felt like
raw.
Yeah, shout out to Supreme Clientele. It honestly could have been higher, but it's number 5 on my list. What's your number 4?
Supreme Clientele.
Fair enough.
My
number 4 is Wu-Tang Forever.
Well, you got that high. Okay.
Of course. I think Wu-Tang Forever is one of the most slept on albums ever, bro. It's a double disc of just fire.
You think it's straight fire? I think the beginning of disc 1.
That shit's fire. You know what it is? Is people were expecting 36 chambers.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why people listen to that album 3 years after. That was when, dude, Wu-Tang was doing, I remember seeing them, they were touring with like fucking Rage Against the Machine, and this was like superstar Wu-Tang era. When they dropped Wu-Tang Forever, they were like the biggest shit in the world. All over
Triumph
MTV.
just set it off.
Bro, Triumph is on this album. Probably
to be one of the best hip-hop singles of all time.
Probably a top 5 verse ever from Inspected Deck is on this album. Ever. I'm talking about ever. Like ever. Not like Wu-Tang ever. I mean just ever.
And everybody knows it. Wu-Tang fan or not, you know that Inspected Deck verse.
And for the record, a double disc of just fire peak Wu-Tang. It's two albums in one, and we're talking peak Wu-Tang, peak Ghostface, peak Raekwon, peak Method Man, RZA. It's different than 36 Chambers, so I think when people initially heard it, they weren't necessarily on board with it. It was a little bit more commercial.
I wouldn't say commercial.
Yeah, like a song like It's Yours was like a hook. You know, it was different. Yeah. But I feel like it was just a more like cleaned up, not like, it wasn't as rough as it sounded like it was recorded in like $1 million studios. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell, like,
it wasn't in the basement.
But I think Wu-Tang Forever is fucking incredible. And I think that actually aged well, unlike
it did.
So shout out to Wu-Tang. I got that at number 4. Where you at? Where's your number 3?
I think I'm gonna shock you with this one.
You're gonna put Enter the Wu-Tang here, huh?
Only Built for Cuban Links.
Oh, and I think we agree.
Really? Okay. Now, this album's incredible. Number 3, I wanted to put it, the top 3, it bounced around for me all over the place. But as far as the
got it there
album,
too.
okay. Now
This
for
is
me,
our personal opinions.
yeah.
So now we know the final 2. I got Only Built for Cuban Links at 3. By the way, it could be 2 or it could be 1. I do feel like the top 3 here could, at any given time, be interchangeable.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna bust down the rest of my my list. You do the same. So I got Liquid Swords at 2 and 36 Chambers at 1.
I got the same. Like, it's just,
I almost put Liquid Swords at 1, low key, but I was like, nah. 36 Chambers is a perfect album. It's perfect.
I had it at 1.
You had Liquid Swords?
Yeah, I changed it because for me, Liquid Swords, album-wise, like just the flow of it, there's almost nothing like it in hip-hop. Like, it's just a move.
I also hate the fact that Liquid Swords isn't as celebrated as Purple Tape.
It's just because Ray and Ghost are a lot more popular.
GZA is the most low-key motherfucker ever.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it kind of sucks that GZA dropped Liquid Swords, and then besides his album he did with Muggs, which was what, called Masterminds?
Yeah.
Something like that. I just feel like Beneath the Surface.
Grandmaster, sorry.
Beneath the Surface was some mid. Like, it just kind of sucks that GZA like never gave us something close to Liquid Swords. And for the record, Raekwon, the same could be said for him up until he dropped Liquid Swords too, because outside of Only Built for Cuban Links, Raekwon's solo career up until he dropped Only Built for Cuban Links 2 there was a lot to be desired there.
Yeah, right? Mobilarity wasn't great.
And the other one, Lex Diamond Story, not great. So we got Raekwon at 3, Only Built for Cuban Links is 3, Liquid Swords is 2, and number 1 is 36 Chambers. 36 Chambers, to me, I have as a top 6, 7, 8 hip-hop album of all time.
And that's why it was hard for me to not have it at number 1. Because, like, in the grand scheme of things...
Album. It started Wu-Tang. Come on. And it's it's literally a perfect album. Like, there's not one song on there that you're like, dang, they could have did without this one, bud.
You can't skip anything on there.
Yeah, it's a classic. And for the record, all top 3 of those albums are classics. And had we have included the Blackout, it would have been in the top 10.
What do we have different?
I didn't have the W in mine. And
Tikel and the W was the only difference.
No, you also had Iron Flag in your top 10. I didn't have that in my top 10. I had ODB.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So you had all 4 Wu-Tang albums in your top 10. I did not, sir. 8 Diagrams, we just will pretend like that never happened.
Never happened. And the joint that, what's that cat that bought the album that's can't release for 100 years?
Oh, Martin Shkreli or whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that guy. Fuck that dude.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, so shout out to Wu-Tang, man. 25 years since the Purple Tape came out. And I do feel like, I mean, man, I just wish we'd hear more Raekwon. I feel like it was dope to hear him at the beginning of the Griselda album, but he wasn't rapping. He was just talking his talk. And unfortunately, you know, like when he hopped on like fucking My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 10 years ago, it was like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
But shout out to Ray. You know, another slept on Raekwon album is Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang that came out in after Only Built for Cuban Links.
That is a dope joint.
What about some I'll say this. My got to shout out a couple of albums that I do think are underrated from Wu-Tang members. For me, I got to shout out Uncontrolled Substance. Inspector Deck's album was fire.
Super fire. And it would have been bigger, but the whole situation, I guess the masters got lost and he had to re-record it. So what could have been right there too? Like,
I think he was supposed to be the first Wu-Tang.
he was supposed to be after Meth, I think.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, yeah, he had to wait. That sucks because that's another what if career, right? If Inspector Deck would have dropped like right off the rip.
Yeah, with the big wave when everybody dropped the
Bro,
solo
think
joints.
about Inspector Deck standout verses. Like that fool low key be out rapping everybody in
Always
Wu-Tang
kills
when
it.
he wants.
Above the Clouds.
I was gonna say Above the Clouds from Gangstar. Jesus Christ. Tikal, come on, man. Another one I enjoyed was Tikal 2000. That's like a personal one that there's just some shit on there I actually really like, even though it's a disappointing album. Master Killer's album, No Said Date, was solid.
What about Bobby Digital?
Bobby Digital was solid. Honestly, just from like a
sonically,
I just
like the sound.
I almost was like fucking Mike. Why might I fuck around and sneak Bobby Digital in at number 10? Even though it don't deserve to be number 10, but like show love to RZA.
Gravediggers.
Yeah, see, we didn't include the Gravediggers. That would have been in there 100%.
Yeah.
None of the You Got albums ever spoke to me. I only listened to the first one. The Wu Massacre album is another one that I never really got into. The Meth, Ghost, and Ray album.
It was disappointing for that trio, you know? Like there were some joints on there, but Pretty Tony was close for me.
Ghostface. Yeah, if you go through Ghostface, whole entire Apollo Kids, Ghost Dini was cool. More Fish I never fucked with. I thought that shit was whack.
That was just like, that was so we could get off Def Jam.
Big Doe Rehab was all right. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, Jizza had a outside of Grandmasters.
I like Legends of the Liquid Sword.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah, shout out to Wu-Tang though.
I feel like they're not celebrated enough.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I agree with you there, buddy, because they do have they just had a goddamn Showtime documentary series, and then Hulu made an entire fucking TV show based on their lives. So I'm not sure I can agree with you, buddy. I
feel like nowadays they don't get the love they deserve.
Well, because kids don't give a fuck about Wu-Tang Clan. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
Wu-Tang is for are they? I mean,
rest in peace, Dirt McGirt.
Best skits ever on 36 Chambers too. I forgot to mention.
Oh yeah,
the torture skit.
Quotables
in front of Method Man. That's what's crazy is that fucking skit was in front of the most commercially successful song on the album. So if you bought that album for the METHOD, man, well, I guess Cream, but if you bought that and you had to put that shit on, you were like, what the fuck are these motherfuckers talking about? Putting hangers in each other's asses and nailing dicks on the yeah, what the fuck? Shit's crazy.